Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Coffee Run Live, episode 588. Very excited to chat with you this morning on this very gloriously sunny, freakishly cold autumn morning here in the land of Mildura. I hope you are warm, if that is what you are driven by. I'm absolutely very, very much driven by being warm. What I wanted to talk with you about today is not the weather, although I do tend to, isn't it funny how on live streams, it's like it takes a couple of minutes. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I know for me, it always takes, it takes a good couple of minutes to kind of get into it. It takes a couple of minutes to kind of warm up, and you know, we all love a good weather report, right? Isn't that the way that the way that we all connect? Here's the weather, and now for today's update. What I actually wanted to talk with you about today is not the weather, but more something that my clients have been talking about recently, the things that we've been building and working on, and this is your web of awesome. Now, this is not to be mistaken for some crazy spidery event, because spiders are definitely not awesome. But creating something that is simple and easy for you to use, that helps you to see how you can come up with content daily, really simply, really easily. And then for me, the thing that you all know is that I have got definitely one foot in the land of system and structure and being really pragmatic. And then I've also got this other foot, so I kind of like straddle these two worlds. The other foot is in the place of kind of flow and inspiration and sort of letting the content flow out in the way that it's supposed to flow out. Now, one of the problems is that most people, regardless if you are a brand new to business owner, whether you're a very seasoned business owner, maybe you've been in business for 5 years, 10 years, 25 years, 5 minutes, it doesn't matter. The thing that most people really tell me that they need when I'm talking to them is they want clarity. They tell me that they want to be on message all the time. They don't know how to craft their unique message that has them standing out from everybody else, right? And we see this all the time. There are brand new people coming into your industry. There's these up and comers kind of like nipping at your heels, and you're looking and you're like, far out, man. You know, this is crazy. This is insane. How quickly they are developing, how quickly they're kind of coming up. And it can lead you to kind of feeling, I guess, I know I felt like this when I've seen new people come into this industry. I'm like, man, you know, you haven't even done your time yet. Like, do your time. And then on the other hand, I'm like, this is really good because it's kind of pushing me to stay ahead of the game. It's really pushing me to innovate. It's pushing me to think about things differently. So, you know, I quite like it. And for me, what I've been doing and teaching over the last 2 years specifically is how to help people like you come up with your own web of awesome. So let me show you this. If you're a fan of Post-it notes, you're in luck. If you're not a fan of Post-it notes, tough luck. So this is my web of awesome, right? So what this is, I'm getting notifications and it's making me grumpy. This is my web of awesome that I rely on all the time to come up with. I'm using my content map as a way of making this actually sit properly, and it's not doing its job. So hang on a second. Let's just fix this so it doesn't curl in, because that would be really irritating. So the web of awesome is very bright and colorful, and as you can see, there's a whole ton of Post-it notes on there, and I think this might be reversed. It looks like it's a normal way around to me, but maybe it doesn't look like that to you, but you're just gonna have to deal with that. Here's the digital version so that you can see this a little bit more closely, right? So this digital version shows you my web of awesome. Thank you, Julia. So what I've been doing and teaching for the last 2 years is, I mean, along with everything else that I've been doing and teaching for the last 2 years, I'm showing people, teaching people how to create this stuff for themselves. So what happens, just to let you know how this applies, this actually lives on my wall in my office that I haven't been sitting in recently, but it lives on my wall. And I always come back to, if I'm having a day, and I'm sure you guys have this as well. So what the fuck am I going to talk about today? I look at my Web of Awesome and I can pick something out of here to talk about and deliver and to do. Now, what happens, like we've been talking this week a fair bit about creating your 4 steps, right? And in fact, I think we spoke about it on Monday, and it was that, you know, one of the best things that you can do, or maybe it was Friday, one of the best things that you can do is simplify your process for people so that they can easily understand what it is that you do, right? What are the 4 big picture steps that you work your people through? So I shared with you on Monday or Friday or whenever we talked about it, the first step that I work on with people is confidence. The next thing that I help people with is with their audience. The next thing I help people with is with their positioning, you know, on social media. And then the next thing is about creating impact. So what my Web of Awesome does is it can visually, not in the way that you're seeing it, but it will visually help step people through what it is that I do. So I help you create impact, I help you step into that rock star personality, help you connect with your niche and your audience, and help you to grow and build confidence so that you can get out there and help more people. So your Web of Awesome is a tool. Nobody else sees that, right? I'm only showing you this so that you have an idea of where I'm going with this stuff. You don't need to show your audience this. You don't need to show your market this. I mean, you can if you like. But what it comes down to is you being able to cultivate, create, and articulate. I'm going to write that down. Cultivate, create, and articulate your unique 4-step process in the way that you do things, right? So you know how we spoke earlier this week about how we've got all of this knowledge in our head, we've got all of this stuff that we know that we can do with people, and at the end of the day, it's like, oh my gosh, we're blessed and hindered sometimes by this curse of knowledge, because we actually know all of the things that people need to work through. We know all of the things that people need to deal with. We know all of the things that we need to do to help people step across and get to where it is that they want to be. But if we make it too complex for people, then we lose them, right? So the easiest way that I can say to people, if they're like, oh, okay, so how do I stand out from the crowd? How do I get my message out there? I'm like, well, you know what? I've got a 4-step process. The first thing that you need to do is get out of singing in the shower. Forget that, no more being invisible. We're going to work on your confidence. And then we're going to tap straight into the audience that you really want to work with and that you really want to help. Then what we're going to do is step onto that stage, that social media stage, so that you can really own it, own your positioning, own that badassery that is within you, so that you can get out there and create more impact with your content, with things that you do, with your work, and change the world, right? That would be a way that that's a lot more words than I'd sometimes use, but that would be a way of me articulating my 4-step process. So you remember earlier on in the week, I asked you to work out what are the 4 steps that you take your people through. So what you're going to do is you're going to work out what those 4 steps are. Then what you're going to do in terms of building your Web of Awesome, in your first step, you're going to work out, all right, what are kind of like the sub-steps to making that happen. So you know what it's like when we're creating confidence. If we're really going to work on how to create more confidence for people, we've got to work on your mindset, because mindset's a key component to you feeling confident. We're going to work on you being able to see how fucking amazing you are and how much knowledge you've got floating around in your head. And we're going to work out how we can leverage your own personal strengths, because the strengths that you have are different to what I have, which are different to the other people in your industry. And at the end of the day, the things that make you feel really confident are you recognizing, in my opinion, is you being able to recognize the data and the amazingness that is within you. So there's some of the sub-steps that I would help take people through. So you need to work out what they are for you. Then what happens is you can start to build out your own Web of awesome. So this is what it looks like, and I'll have a free download. Actually, if you own Into the Spotlight, the book Into the Spotlight, I teach you how to work this out, and you get a template as part of the workbook as well in there. So essentially, this is the digital version. So I've got confidence, clients, positioning, and impact. So in here, remember I was just saying to you, we've got to work on your mindset, we've got to work on your knowledge, and then work on your strengths. So those three things go in here. All right. And then what you can work on are the actual activities that you take your people through. What would you specifically do with your audience in order to help them get that result, in order to get them to help do that? So what I've done, and what I think is really helpful, like we all learn in different ways, but I really, really love visual cues. I didn't realize how visually motivated I am until I built this, and then I'm like, oh my God, like this is nuts. I need to teach people how to do this. Because for me, on the Post-it notes, what I've done is like in each section, and they're all color coded because, why the heck not? Then I can look at it and go, all right, well, on one day, so today, for example, what we're actually talking about is how you can build your own unique intellectual property and how you can therefore position yourself as an expert in the eyes of your audience, right? So how to build this is all in here. So in here, I've got how do I theme my stuff? These are some of the questions. Social media is so noisy. How do I stand out? Well, you build a web of awesome. I've got how do I work out what to give away for free? Are funnels enough? How do I launch? How do I maintain enthusiasm? So I've got a whole ton of things that I hear every day from my clients, generally before they've put this together. I'm like, I don't know how to make all of this stuff happen. I don't know how to brand myself. I don't know how to stand out. So all of those things get put onto a little Post-it note and get allocated to the step that they most relate to, right? So that is what a step of awesome, that is what a web of awesome is. I don't know why I called that step. It's really funny. And this is the kind of stuff that we work on in Visible Live. You actually walk away with this completely created, completely mapped out. Now, do you want to know the really cool thing about this? Yes, of course you do. Hi, Nicole. How are you? Hey, Leilani. Hope you're well. So what's really awesome about this is that once you have got your 4 steps, this could be the 4 chapters in your book. This could be one of those steps could be a whole one-day workshop. It could be your keynote speech. It could be anything that you want to create. It could be a workbook. It could be absolutely anything. So by investing your time in creating your own web of awesome, it gives you your content ideas, it gives you everything that you could possibly need in order for you to be able to step out there, be seen as being really unique and actually make things happen. So that is what the web of awesome is. Now, typically what I have found with this is that not only through writing Into the Spotlight, and you can grab a copy of the book if you feel like you want to work through it on your own. We've got Visible Live, the national tour coming up in June, and this is what we spend 2 days doing. So what's really cool about this is that we've got people who have said, oh my gosh, like this is like my treasure chest of awesomeness. This keeps you ahead of the competition all the time, because even though, like I was saying yesterday, even though your 4 steps might be similar to what my 4 steps are, or everything that then gets chunked down deeper from there is all of your own unique intellectual property, right? We might have the same overarching thing, but at the end of the day, the stuff that's in the guts of your own web of awesome is the thing that's going to make you stand out. It's going to have you being seen as unique and all that kind of thing. One of the big problems that I have found come up in the room is that when we're talking at the start, and you might feel the same as this, we're talking at the start and I will often ask, so, where are you at right now? Where do you want to be? And how do you feel about putting yourself out there? The number of people that tell me that they are worried about what their peers say or what their peers are going to think, the number of people that don't want to look silly, the number of people that tell me that, oh, I don't think I know enough yet, or things like that is insane. Now, these are people who have been in the role that they're doing in their businesses or working for somebody else for like 20, 30 years. Like, dude, you've got so much knowledge in that head of yours. We've just got to be able to pull it out and put it into a really simple structure that you can use and that you can rely on for your content. So today, I encourage you to have a go at mapping this out for yourself and actually seeing on paper the process that you work through, the things that you can do, the tasks that you can give people, the different things that you can help them with. And then what's going to happen is that you're going to have this kind of like endless, limitless, there's so many different, like, how in, do you remember in high school when we would do, the 10 to the power of something or what, and then the permutations? I think it's the permutations. Then the permutations are endless because you've got this could go with this, or 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 this problem can go with this, or you can take that out of your third step and add it and then match it up with your first step. So it gives you endless things that you can create. It gives you endless ideas and it keeps you on message all the time because you don't want to venture outside of that web of awesome, right? You know that when you're consistent and you're building out a consistent message, your audience get to know you, like you, trust you. You're demonstrating your expert opinions. You're demonstrating your experience without you saying, hi, my name is Nicola and I have got lots of experience doing this and I am an expert in helping you, right? If we were to go out to market saying that, we'd probably look like a bit of an idiot. Some people might think, or you might feel like, I know I felt like this before, that like you're just chock full of ego and, actually, to be honest, no one really gives a shit about you, right? The fact of the matter is your audience are looking to see how you can help them go from point A to point B, right? So the way that you can demonstrate that is through your educational content, through the stories that you tell, but you've got to stay on message and you've got to be consistent. It's the name of the game. It's how you're going to win. And it doesn't mean that everybody else loses, but it's how you're going to win and how you can demonstrate your expertise in the eyes of your audience, which is where it's at the minute. So on that note, I can't wait to hear how you go with this. If you've got any questions, make sure you let me know. You can see how you can jump in on the tour if you wanted to do that. If not, that's totally cool. And otherwise, let's get out there and make it happen. So get out there, go help some people, have a whole ton of fun doing it, and remember the world is ready for your brand of awesome. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.